And fall in, my fellow scout troopers, to a Napoleon Total War 3 full v4 battle replay today at Italy 8-A. My apologies. Today's replay comes from Johnny the Buffin. His allies are Mosley, Angry Peasant, and Don. Their opponents today are Sniper Smithhuck, Richard the Lionheart, Flux, and Saeed. Most of these guys, if not all of them, are members of the NTW3 Peeps squad. The link to their Discord will be in the video description below. It's a very active NTW3 community. And so if you're after some matches and want to get a game in, these guys are usually the ones to talk to, from my experience. Now, on the map today we have 3 1-pointers and 2 4-pointers on the field for a grand total of 11 points. Now, going through the factions today of the blue team, we got here Russia, got Austria, UK, Portugal, the UK, España, Portugal. And we have here Prussia, 1806. Now, we got 3 French players, maybe 4. And we have a Sept Ils player. This one is a very low point faction, like either 5 or 7, I just can't remember, but anyway, very low, very hard to use. Only the most experienced can actually use them and look good and not lose, I think. It's not a very easy faction to win with. That means his allies here are going for the higher points compared to him, and so we'll see how well they fare. Hopefully it was worth the risk for them. Yep, if you want to see your own total replay featured here on this channel, there are 4 ways of sending me a total replay, which you'll find in this video description and every video description below, which are my email scoutsoventertainment@gmail.com. You can post it to me directly on Discord. You can join my Discord server, Scouts Reconnaissance, and post it there. Simply tag me in the replay you post on the NTW3 Discord as well. And we've got here a Russian cavalry unit that has a vanguard ability, I believe. It's the only way it could have deployed all the way back here behind enemy lines. Is one of those factions that is a fast-hitting lancer? It is. Russia's one of those factions that also have their archers on horseback. Not the most effective unit. It's pretty much a useless unit, but it's still interesting to see in action. Little riders on bows in the era where guns were the norm in battles. They'll be eyeing a chance to take out an enemy general or artillery. Looking at these guys briefly, they're hidden. So that's the only reason France isn't destroying them. And he's just trying to wait for this French player to start moving or to make a move. Russia here, well, the main army of Russia, I should say, is going to try and draw this guy out to reveal his army, where things are. And if the coast is clear, he's going to pounce with his cavalry, try and take out the general or artillery, but my guess is the general, because artillery usually deployed at the front of the army, not the rear. Now, looking at the army's movements here, the blue team has already 5 points well in their territory. Prussia here might be going for that 4-pointer, but he probably will encounter a French player before it. Looks like we've already got a skirmish here. Where is it? Okay, it's happening underneath in the trees. Sept Ils. Similar to Russia here, has a vanguard ability. And he got the drop on Austria. Russia here looking to clean up. Sept Ils has 2 more units here. You got the UK coming from the other direction, so the goal is to sandwich these guys together. Russia here could lose. Yep, he's lost. Now UK is fighting on his own. And he's coming through the forest here, so it's going to be slow going. Fortunately for him, Sept is actually going to stay in the forest himself. Well, the last light cab didn't fare too well against Sept, but I don't know. I wouldn't think Sept has the best morale. Russia must have charged in a pretty poor unit there for them to break against them. It's a light to mid-tier cav. Really wish I could judge the quality of the Sept's cav here. No, once again they're hidden. That's got to be unnerving for the blue team. France is actually charging the Austrian lines here. They're going after the artillery. Alright. They lost one arty and the other one broke. Austrian cav here was too late. So, the opening skirmish here going to the red team on 2 occasions. Taking out one arty is pretty valuable. Prussia's closing in. His enemy is going to reveal any minute now. The artillery of the enemy is already firing from the hill. It's only a small climb. I'm still trying to figure out where everyone is. Johnny's team here has really spread themselves out over the entire map here. Now this is a little bit risky. If the red team sent scouts ahead, which probably they have, they've ascertained where their enemies are across the map. If they focus themselves in the center, they can potentially double team the Austrians and Russia before their allies get to them. It'll take UK some time and also Prussia some time to move up and try and fold flanks inwards. Sepp is going for the house, but it looks like Austria's going to beat him to it. And so right now Austria here has lock, while the blue team has lock. Majority. So that forces the red team's hands to come to them. That means that Prussia and Russia over here don't need to be as aggressive, provided Austria holds his position. And since UK Spain Portugal is guarding their 4-pointer, it's not really in the blue team's best interest for him to move too much further where he is, but Austria will need some backup. And so what UK probably should do here is send up a couple of units of cavalry to sort of scout the area, or leave a couple spaced out here, like one over here, one about here, and then send some reinforcements to help Austria here on his left flank. Send maybe 3, 4 or 5 even. Keep the rest to establish a perimeter, and in the event that his cav detects the enemy coming at him, then withdraw these units back towards their main base. It's hard to know what's the next move here for the red team. How are they going to proceed? But since things have really died down... Oh, hang on, Russia's making a move. Jeez, bloody hell. For a game that doesn't move fast, it can move surprisingly quickly when you're not expecting it to. They've broken some artillery. They didn't kill the general. Or did they? Yeah, they did. They did break the general. That's him there. France is moving in. Well, Prussia's fallen back. He's not ready. He's not willing to engage. Sept is going for the house again. And it's not under Austrian control. Austria should get a unit in that house. This is their light cavalry. They won't be able to hold out against that many units from Sept. Fortunately for him, Sepp does have low morale on most of their units. He's going for the house now, I think. Cavalry once again running interference. Okay, that unit's had enough. But they served their purpose. They delayed the enemy long enough for them to take the house. France and Septia seems a little bit disorganized. Prussia and Russia aren't immediate threats here to the red team. If Russia and Prussia aren't willing to move forwards, then the red team has to move up. We know the points are on the blue team's side here. Now, they could also be falling into a trap. Johnny might be intentionally trying to draw them in to try and outflank Austria. And when he's fully committed, then he'll pounce and roll his whole army forward. They'll send France reeling back, trying to reorganize himself. At the same time, Sepp will be, well, left vulnerable. And then Russia can probably get some cav in there, start shutting Sepp's lines. UK over there can apply equal pressure on their right flank. And then I can see this whole battle here falling apart here for the red team. That plan will work, most likely, because this player here has lost their general. Sept has no units to take the house there. Looks like Sept has got some skirmishes, and he's got his infantry firing over the heads of his skirmishes. They take their time, don't they? But when they fire, it's an impressive volley. Unfortunately, he's killing more of his own men than the enemy. Have they had enough? One of the weaknesses I'm noticing here from Sept is that they have a very slow fire rate. Or at least some of the units in their line do, because they're not firing anymore. Oh, now they bloody do it. Go figures, eh? Austrians here would do better against them. But Austria isn't stepping up to the plate. They're not really being aggressive. We know, or we've already talked about why they don't need to be aggressive. That's why they're not. But one of the reasons I think I want Austria to be aggressive is that Sept can't afford the pressure. It'll break under the strain of Austria. Now, Austria has called for reinforcements. France is applying a bit more pressure than Austria would like. If the blue team loses this house, then the blue team will have to roll forward again to capture it. Because then the red team will have the majority. They're coming. But France has the time to get set up and ready for them. France is sending some grenadiers in to take that house. That's really the trick, guys, when it comes to taking occupied buildings. You gotta send in your grenadiers. They're the best troops for close quarter fighting. They're the most skilled, they have the best melee attack. And if they're nice and healthy and not too tired, they should serve you well. Especially if your opponent has put in a unit inside the house that is not a grenadier unit. Cavalry is charging in. One unit's forming square, the other one is forming square as well, but a little bit slow on the uptake, but did it just in time. That sent Johnny packing for now. Sepp obviously has some nice range here on his units. Looking at the casualty rate of the Austrian line, it's pretty good. The line looks pretty healthy. It doesn't look like it'll buckle anytime soon. In fact, UK now is moving up. France is over here. We've got some troops waiting. Alright, the house has been captured by them. That has to draw a reaction now. A big reaction. Austria set up one unit in melee, but it was a futile effort. Austria sent up his elite cav. These are just standard Austrian infantry. Russia's come back in for a charge. And Johnny did a little bit better that time.
Our men are running for.
Austria's sort of been sent reeling. We got the big punch there. Taking this house is not an easy task. France had to do it with overwhelming force. Austria had no real reinforcements in that immediate vicinity. None that could fight well in close quarter combat. France had set up a firing line on either side. They were shooting the cav as it came in, so they weren't going to get too far with that. Looks like Austria here got one unit inside, but it looks heavily depleted. It looks like France will hold it. Look at these guys. They're gonna cav. Austria is sending up one unit against 3 French units, including the French unit inside the house. That's a doomed to fail at the start strategy. If Austria wants to take this house, he's got to clear the flanks. Russia's coming in to help him on his right, but he and UK on his left need to also push up together. They've got to drive back Sepp. If I'm Austria right now, what I'm thinking is he does a full court press right in the center of Sepp's line here. He engages at this point. That'll push Sepp right back. He won't be able to withstand him. And then he begins attacking France on either side. At the same time, UK supports him on his left. I think Austria he has enough troops here to handle everything on the right here, up to the house. And Russia here can keep him busy on this side as well. That's how I think Austria turned things around. Now there are also other ways to do that, but looking at that, that's probably how I would do it. Sept is leaving himself very exposed here. That's why it looks like such an attractive strategy. Hang on, Prussia moved up again. But he seems to have been temporarily defeated. He moved up, but he didn't really engage with his army. He had a few cavalry skirmishes, and unfortunately it looks like he lost a couple. And now he's withdrawing again for now. Okay, over here, he's under attack.
We've taken the building, sir.
Okay, España. Okay, hang on. Oh, they managed to take it. That unit we saw before, the Austrian unit. They must have just done enough. Oh no, Russia has entered the building. Russia is well known for their melee abilities. These bastards will charge in every time and actually have a very successful track record in winning almost every single fight they just charge into. It's kind of actually incredible how many times I've seen them succeed in such an effort. A couple of Prussian units here that regrouped have come back to the fight. France is angry. They want their building back. UK España has been defeated over here. That was a combination effort of cavalry harassing the rear while at the same time they pressed forward with the infantry.
Our men are running.
Yep, they lost that building again. These guys here just being overwhelmed. UK España has enough troops to hold that area as it stands. We've got the UK general moving up to support the line. Keep those troops morale nice and healthy. Russia's setting up more forces. There are no enemy units in front of these guys. Oh no, there are. That makes more sense. Okay. He's falling back because he's got troops incoming on his flank and he can't hold it. I really think if Austria had thrown that punch there against Sept, they could have turned things around for them then and there. I like France's chances in a prolonged shootout against Russia. Austria once again is moving up. Sept has moved into the tree line and out to the other side. Austrian cav broken. They might fire, I don't know. The targets are invisible. These 3 units of Russia's here need to move up a little bit. Not too much, just bring them in line. And create this like a kink and then line up this direction. Austria's moving up. He's got to. UK Spain needs to support his left flank. He's got to move with him. Prussia just needs to rejoin his teammates. His isolated attack didn't pan out for him, so it's time to change tactic. We've got some Cuirassiers once again moving up. They're charging in. They're going to get into him. Now this cav unit should fare very well against Sept. Austria definitely picked the right time to charge them in. The entire line is collapsing. Sept is disorganized here. He probably won't be able to form up and fire effectively at the Austrians. Now the Austria here is actually has to make a decision. It's a risk, but it might be. I think it's worth the risk. Continue charging forward and just handling or sustaining that fire from the enemy on their flank, in the hope that they won't break as they continue their drive forward. I think they can break pretty much the entire army here if they wanted to. All these units here. Now, Sept actually charged these guys into melee combat. I think that was a mistake. He had the opportunity to line them up, to shoot them right in the flank. And then Austria would have been hard pressed. If he tried to turn his attention towards that unit to take them out, the rest of these units here could have lined up and fired into him, thereby breaking the Austrian cav. So I'm saying Sept had the opportunity to sort of cause some panic or confusion that might have actually forced Austria to withdraw. But he allowed he charged in. There was no way he was going to win a fight. A Sept unit against elite cavalry, I just don't see that ever happening. I mean, Austria is still going. The morale's starting to break now. They took on hundreds, if not 1,000 troops there. And 3/4 of the unit was still intact by the end of it. Sept is getting ready. Oh, we got a friendly general here that's fallen. Mosley lost his general here, sniped out by France. Forget about your general, you pay the price. Now that was UK's general. Russia here has not moved forward. I wonder why. They could have secured that house together with Austria. Austria is obviously adopting the wear down approach. This unit of Austrians here might be outnumbered, but France is really clumped up here. He won't be able to use his numbers against the Austrians. He's getting a few kills there on the line. Here we go. They're not firing these guys. Why not? Austria charged in. Why did he do that? He was winning that skirmish fight. These guys aren't even grenadiers. I don't know. Maybe he felt like he was winning. He was winning the skirmish, and he thought he had weakened France enough to charge in. Obviously, he thought wrong. All right, it's a second red team general there to be taken out. Ah, UK, España getting some revenge there. Not on France's general, but on Sepp's. But still, a general kill is a general kill. Everybody, some English dragoons. And they broke each other at the same time. Austria here, I really feel like Austria just needs to charge in and grab Sepp by the throat. He's got the army, he's got the quality of troops here to throw Sepp back. I think the red team here has made a mistake by placing Sepp at the center, at the heart of the battle. He doesn't have the quality of troops to really last very long in a fight against a faction like Austria. He's managed to survive this long by standing pretty far back at the length of the enemy's range. But now Austria is really getting in his face. You can see Sepp did not like that at all. Now, to be fair, Sepp's general here is gone. They definitely played a part in this massive chain rout here for sure. And France has a crap ton of cavalry. Russia is still alive for the moment.
Our men are running for it.
Russia hasn't really moved in yet. And Russia hasn't moved up yet either. It's good to see UK, España and Austria really step up here. And France gives up. And then Russia moves in before he can change his mind and turn back. UK Spain needs to request Austria. Austria has 5 reserve units here. They are absolutely necessary to improve UK's chances of victory.
The building, sir.
If the UK is going to move in on his own, then Austria can't afford to just watch and let this play out. He's got to help. The UK is without their general now, after all. Alright, UK continues to move up. Not a very cohesive line. Austria still hasn't moved. Geez, England's doing very well against these forces here. Jeez, England's doing very well. The Excellers. Well, they're living up to their name. Okay, Austria's finally moving up. UK might try and clear that unit in the streets there, because half the unit's in the house. Who are these guys? It's just a regular, oh no. Is this Sepp's general? I thought I saw Fred's general be killed. Oh, maybe it was a French general after all. Yeah, UK's winning. That's got to be inspiring the whole army to move forward now at this point. UK can detach 4 or 5 units to handle all the forces at that house. Send the others to handle the right flank. I don't too much like these long column formations. It reduces the number of rifles that can be fired. France here trying to move some forces in to delay UK, but it's not enough. France is getting pounded into defeat here. There's not much you can do about it. Now he's just going to move in for the kill. Okay, England has entered from the back of the house. Are those the only doors? Yep, that's why. Those are the only doors. Taking that building. How's Prussia going? Prussia's really sort of spaced themselves out a bit. Those are the longest lines I've ever seen. Prussian cap here, getting picked off. Unit by unit. That was a suicide charge there from Prussia. No way they can go up against any of them. A lot of pressure here put on UK. I think he can do it. He can definitely do the job. But so much relies on him to just start tearing this line apart.
This building has fallen
unit
to the
by
enemy.
unit. Austria and Russia need to move up to get ready to take advantage of the mass retreat that UK is going to cause in the very short term. Because the closer that line gets, when France starts to retreat, the more kills both Austria and Russia will get when we see a mass retreat here on the French line. That'll be caused by UK. I mean, he's picking off unit by unit. The French alliance can only sustain this for so long before it forces them to retreat. Austria has a lot of these guys to spare, I swear. Okay, Austria breaks. Those guys there, they belong to the UK. Well, they're seeing the retreat. They caused a few units to break, but the red team is still in this. What's Russia doing? Russian dragoons. It's attacking French infantry by themselves.
Our men are running.
Prussia's got to get out of there. That tree line is masking his own forces, making it difficult for him to see that his troops could be in danger, or there could be enemy troops there he can't see. We've got here 23 minutes left on the clock. Pressure here sort of abandoned Johnny. These guys here trying to link up with the rest of the army.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
Oh, how about that? Johnny's general here got sniped by France. And he was killed. I'm assuming that's Johnny, of course.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
I'd be lying if I didn't find that just a little bit funny, Johnny. Musketeers, well, they're doing okay. So we've got some Prussian grenadiers helping them sandwich the cavalry together. Alright, their unit just broke. Provided a window there for France to escape, and they're taking it. Now, Locke is clearly with the blue team. They've got the larger army. They're going to win this. The question is how it's going to be won. France is delaying the inevitable here by retreating like this. Either they go for the win, or they just stand back, wait for the timer to run out, and then ultimately lose. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this around. The answer is, the only way for them to turn this around is with their cavalry. They got to time a big push with the infantry, at the same time they do a mass charge with their cavalry. That'd be the only move that would drive the enemy back. Alright guys, we did a bit of a cut there, but it looks like we're going to get a forest battle within the last 10 minutes. UK and Russia have linked up together. Austria is moving in reserve at the rear. It's slow going. Like I said though, the blue team doesn't need to be aggressive, only the red team does. Serenity there, kill a few enemy troops. these guys had enough? No, no, they're just reforming. The morale of each team's line looks solid. It's kind of like a stalemate. We're seeing France move up. The smoke from each other's guns makes it almost hard to see everyone. Alright guys, we're back. Had to do a small cut there because the fight here ended. Russia pulled back and they're bunkering down. UK also pulled back, but just enough that they're covering that building there, making sure the enemy can't get past them. Russia shooting from cover. France out in the open.
Are running, sir.
Where's this at? We got the Cav trying to nitpick, find holes in the enemy's perimeter. Prussia here set up their flank. This is the only direction they can come at them. Prussia has one unit that can't form square. That seems like a hell of a responsibility and a lot of area to cover for just one unit that could easily be swamped by the cavalry we know the French team has at their disposal. So, you know, hopefully that unit can delay the enemy long enough for Austria, Prussia and Russia to organise themselves to stave off a mass cavalry assault from that direction. Fortunately for them, it doesn't look like France is going to do that. He's running out of time to do that. Definitely had the cav. He had the cav for it. France is going to charge in their cavalry. That cavalry is going to break. This was like a move out of desperation, and we're running out of time, really. They have the time to move their cav around to charge in through that hole. All these Prussian units here can't form a square, but they line themselves up now to shoot the French cavalry.
Our men are running, sir.
The French cav here is being broken. 5 minutes to go. The British team just made the red team desperate enough to make mistakes, unfortunately for them. So full credit there goes to the blue team. I think the opportunity was there for the French alliance to use their cav to get their team back in the fight. But like everything, it just comes down to timing the attack. Not an easy thing to do. France is having one last attempt here to take out Russia. Solid strike there. One down.
Our men are running.
Two down. Russia's moving in to secure the house. Three down. Four, 5 units. A nice counter-attack there by the French cavalry.
Our men are running, sir.
Jeez, all of Johnny's line here is breaking before his eyes. His army was looking solid a second ago, and just sort of crumbled before him. France is trying to wipe it all out, and he just might succeed.
Our men are running.
The red team's going for the point. 24 seconds left. It's not enough time. Prussia's moved in to secure it. France will not wrestle it from them today. And that's it. We're finished. Congratulations. And Johnny's general was the Russian. Johnny was the Russian player after all. Mosley here, 1296. Angry Peasant, 1417. Johnny, 690. And Don, 340. Sniper Smithhuck, 1228. Richard the Lionheart, 628. Flux, 369. And Saeed, 1264. Kill counts here range from 74 down to 0. Best performances were the cavalry and the artillery. Not too bad there. Well done to Johnny's team. If you want to see your replay featured here on the channel, guys, once again, there are 4 ways to send me a replay, all of which you'll find in the video description below. Hope to hear from you soon. I am looking for 1212 AD and Rise of Mordor replays in particular in the future, so that's just food for thought. This is Micka from Scouts of Entertainment signing off. Goodbye, my fellow Scout Troopers. Catch you in the next Total War battle.